What's up, everybody? This will be video number 2 about the common law of England. So the first video, and I'm looking at my monitor for reference, is we talked about Donwallo Momucius. He established among the Britons the Momultine laws, which even today are celebrated among the English. He ordained that the cities should enjoy privileges such as that in any case a guilty man has to leave the land, and then the roads will be held to be inviolable. And in his day, the cutthroat was blunted and the cruelties of the robber ceased. So they dealt with violence and they dealt with stealing in their day as a result of these Momultine laws, right? His son Balin, from around 455 BC, confirmed these laws, these Momultine laws, which his father had ordained, the Momultine laws, and commanded that even and steadfast justice should be done throughout their realm. He proclaimed it as of common law. So that's where we get the first communication of the term common law, right? And it says that common law condoned that punishment should be inflicted on any that do violence. So that's what they mean by they say in his days the knife of the cutthroat was blunted, right? And if any would know this law, let him read the Momultine laws that Gildas the historian in 520 AD translated out of the British tongue, the Briton tongue, into Latin, and then King Alfred ordered that it be translated out of Latin into English tongue, of which we ultimately got it, right? And that was by Geoffrey Author, and that was published in a book called The History of Britain's Kings in 1138 AD, right? So today we go to another, you just understanding the timeline of the common law, how we got it, where it came from, where it was, organized and put into our reality. So we got here. Actually, I don't have it up. Let me let me see. There we go. Boom. So today we have this book is called The Student's Hume, or I'm gonna assume it may be pronounced Hume. It's Hume, and I'll put it on the screen. That's why I have this space here. And it is going over the history of England. That's the name of the book. The Student's Hume, A History of England, from the earliest times to the Revolution in 1688. All right. And it is based on the history of a guy named David Hume, who incorporated the corrections and researches of recent historians, continued into the Treaty of Berlin in 1878. This book is, this edition that I have has been revised and corrected by a guy named John Shearer Brewer, and it was published in 1880. All right, so all this is important to understand where all this stuff came from. All right, so boom. Now I need to go to my... This is my fault. My bad. My bad. And I'll put it on the screen here, because what I'm about to read you is in a bunch of different places. So it would be wise for me to, I kind of stitched it all together for you. All right. It says, so this is concerning, so what did we end off? We ended off in 1138 AD. And so this is now getting to the Magna Carta, right? So we know the common law would have started in the 500s BC, then over into the AD where they were translated, and then now we're at what, 500, 600, 700, maybe 800 years after the publishing. Remember, I'm not good at math. So now we get to June 15th, 1215, right? And this is obviously, this is the Magna Carta, so you would know that. So, right? So these guys say that the famous deed commonly known or commonly called Magna Carta or the Great Charter secured very important liberties to every order of men in the kingdom, to the clergy, to the barons, and to the people. All right. It says John. Who is John? John is John Lackland. He was the king of England at the time, to my knowledge. I believe, yeah, he was the guy. Yeah, he's the guy that got in trouble. He accidentally changed everything. So yeah, John Lackland seemed to submit passively, but he secretly sent abroad emissaries to enlist foreign soldiers, and he dispatched a messenger to Rome in order to lay before the Pope the Great Charter. And that Pope was Pope Innocent. So just for you to do some extra homework on who John Lackland was and who Pope Innocent was. All right. And it says he secretly sent abroad emissaries to enlist foreign soldiers, and he dispatched a messenger to Rome in order to lay before the Pope the Great Charter. Innocent, considering himself as feudal lord of the kingdom. What kingdom? The kingdom of Great Britain. Boom. So we got an era right now where the Pope thinks he's in charge of, and we know what feudal means. Feudal means fake. So let's be very clear. But Innocent, considering himself as feudal lord of the kingdom, was incensed at the temerity of the barons and issued a bull in which he annulled the charter. And then it says the civil rights of individuals who were protected by that venerable body of ancient customs. What's the venerable body of ancient customs? The common law, the Mamertine laws, right? That were called the common law, right? So it's ancient to them now because it's over 500, 600 years. Actually more than that, right? Because you count down from 400, 500 BC to 0, and then 0 to 520, and then up until 1138, they're still having this law, and now they're in 1215, and they have this law, right? So, which he annulled the charter, and then the civil rights of individuals were protected by that venerable body of ancient customs, which under the name of the common law, second time we see it, still obtains in our courts of justice. Its origin is lost in the obscurity of remote antiquity, right? So its origin, we know the origin. It came from Mamusha, whatever, Dunwallow Mamusha. And so this is the second great recording of the common law. And where did they enact it? They enacted it in 1215 in the Magna Carta or the Great Charter, right? And there was a role and secured very important liberties to every order of men in the kingdom, which they say primarily the people, all right? So it secured liberties for the people. So what that was their constitution. You get to the Declaration of Independence and they call it a constitution because Thomas Jefferson and the people of the 13 colonies, that was their constitution. That's what they referred to, right? In the Magna Carta, you talk about a trial by jury, you talk about all these things that we can still enjoy today as a result of 1215, as a result of 1138, as a result of 520 AD, as a result of 500 and 450 BC, right? So let's read it again. June 15th, 1215. Your homework assignment is to find out what happened in 1213. It says, and why, and John Lackland in his role in 1213. This famous deed, commonly called the Magna Carta or the Great Charter, to every order of men in the kingdom to... Oh, I'm so dumb. Let me read it right. The famous deed, commonly called Magna Carta or the Great Charter, secured very important liberties to every order of men in the kingdom, to the clergy, to the barons, and to the people. John seemed to submit passively, but he secretly sent abroad emissaries to enlist foreign soldiers, and he dispatched a messenger to Rome in order to lay before the Pope the Great Charter. And then Pope Innocent, who was the Pope, considering himself as feudal lord of the kingdom of England, of Great Britain, was incensed at the temerity of the barons and issued a bull in which he annulled the charter and the civil rights of the individuals who were protected by that venerable body of ancient customs, which under the name of the common law still obtains in our courts of justice. And remember, he said this still obtains in our courts of justice. This is in 1883, or no, 1880 that this is published, right? And its origin is lost in the obscurity of remote antiquity. And I didn't highlight this, but it says a very small portion may be traced to the Anglo-Saxons, which you would have got Donwallomo Musha and all these other guys. So, yep, that's the second major instance of the common law. And that would have been the Magna Carta or the Great Charter.